Hello Stampers, this is Annette from AE Stamps Latte, and today I have another project for you surrounding the Christmas Gleaming bundle. As many of you know from looking at my blog, I do have a card class surrounding it, and I've been working with the specialty paper and have made a lot of cards with it. So now I am trying this bundle, which I love so much, with other ones. And on my blog right now is this card. And it uses the First Frost Specialty Designer Series paper. And I stamped the images in Night of Navy. And then I colored them with the Seaside Spray stamping blends. And this is Mossy Meadow. And because of this silver beautiful embossing, I was able to use this beautiful ribbon that matches it perfectly. And then I also added some silver metallic pearls, which I love those pearls, and I'm glad they carried over. So with this in mind, I'm going to make another one, and just to show you how fun this bundle really is. So I'm going to get started, and what I decided to do is just based on the different colors of Stampin' Blends that we have, I'm going to be using Highland Heather. So I'm going to be doing Highland Heather and Mossy Meadow, and I'm also going to be using the dark Granite Gray in this class, and what or in this project, that is. And what I did was I pre-stamped using the Memento Black ink, the ornaments and one of the holly pieces. For this card, I stamped it in Night of Navy, and you can't really tell necessarily, especially the leaves, but that's what I did. I don't think I would have had to, but I was just experimenting, and it turned out really nice anyway because everything is all Night of Navy. But for this one, because it's such a light color, I did stamp it in black. Okay, so what I'm really going to do is just to color a couple of these just to show you how fun and easy it is to color it. And I always start with the dark color first. And I'm just gonna color the outline of the ornament. And I do it this way because to me it's easier just to move the paper around, so I make sure that I stay inside. I've been working with a lot of vanilla paper, and what I've noticed is it tends to bleed a little bit easy, so when you're using very vanilla cardstock, even though it's a beautiful paper and it's great for stamping images, it does tend to bleed just a little bit, so be careful when you're using it. Okay, so I have a thick outline, and now I'm going to go back with the light color, and I'm going to be doing what I want to do is I want to pull some of the color without touching the very end so that they blend together. And it doesn't look like it's blending, but it is. You just can't see it right away. Okay, and you can go over it a few times to get that. And then once I feel like it's done, which is, go over it about twice, then I'm just going to fill this area in, going over once. And now I see that there's some little pieces on the outside here, so I'm going to go back with the smaller end, and I'm just going to go right along the very edge because I really want it to show that it's really dark over there, and then it gets light as you work your way in. Okay, so that would be the Highland Heather, and look how dark it looks. It will lighten up a little bit as it dries, but I think it looks really cool because it's light in the center. And I did have a class, so a lot of my local customers know how to do this, and they're actually going to be working with this set on Tuesday. Okay, so that's done, and because I am using the specialty, you know what? I need to show you this paper. Look at this paper. This is This is the other side. Of course, everyone has seen the really pretty side, which I will show you, but look at all the different patterns that you get. They're just endless. And because it's monochromatic, meaning it's silver and white, you can add any color or anything to it. And I'm just going to show you this beautiful paper on the back side. Okay, so getting back to this, and I guess again I'm kind of using this as my guide, I guess you could say. I'm going to change it up a little bit. And for this one, I had I had colored them in with blue, and this was my first go, so this is my second go. And now I'm going to use the dark granite gray, and I'm going to do, because we have that silver embossing, and so that dark granite gray matches really nicely. So I'm going to color that in. Okay, see that? Just a little bit more there. And then for fun, we are going to be using the clear Wink of Stella to go over. You could do the whole ornament, but I'm just going to do the granite gray topper piece so that it's shiny. And it looks like it's embossed. So that one is done. So now I am going to move on to this. And this is really fun too. So I just love, this is so fun to color. So how I color it is just following the actual lines there. So I'm going to be using the dark Mossy Meadow, and I'm just outlining the leaf just like that. And that's it with that. And now I'm going to go back, and because I don't really want to show a highlighting, I want to blend that. I'm going to go right over all of it and just focusing on the lines that I just made. And now I'm going to go back and kind of just color in the areas on the edges. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other leaf. And so now I'm going right over it, doing circle motions. And now I'm going back to fill. It's a small area, so it's very easy to do the leaves. If you keep adding color, it will get darker and darker, and it could potentially bleed. So there you go. Those are the leaves. And now we're going to talk about these berries. You can see right here that I have a white spot there, and I think that makes it look really cool. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So you start with the darker color, and you're going to use a small tip because this is a smaller area. And what you're going to do is you're going to just make an outline image of the berry going in a circle. That's all you need. And then with the lighter color, it doesn't matter which end you use, but I find it to be much easier to use the thicker end. And now I'm just going to slightly wipe around, making sure I do leave a little bit of a white area. So I'm just doing like that. See? And I kind of like that because it's such a small area that you don't blend it. You can see the line. Okay, so I'm not going to do these because I have some already pre-done, but I do want to punch this out just to show you how awesome this punch is. Okay, so we have that beautiful ornament. Unfortunately, there is no die for this, and the first time that I went to cut it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be not fun, but it actually wasn't bad, and I have made a lot of cards, trust me, on cutting that out. So With this piece here, I'm actually just going to put this aside, and with the Specialty Designer Series paper, I have this piece here, and it's 3 inches wide and 5 1/8 long. So with one 6x6, you'll be able to get 2 cards using this pattern or a piece of the First Frost Specialty Designer Series paper. Okay. And I decided, even though we used Highland Heather, I really like this on the purple posy. See how it matches it really nicely? So this is the color that I'm going to be bringing it in, and we're going to be doing this. We're going to make a card go this way as opposed to up and down like that. So changing it up just a bit. Okay, so that means that my Whisper White piece is 4 1/4 by 11, and then I already scored it. And sometimes you have to be really careful when you score. It doesn't mean that it's going to be perfectly lined up. So even though I scored it, it just helps so that you don't have those ugly crunchy lines over here. You still want to make sure that you hold it on this side here and get your bone folder and see how it wasn't perfect. So I have that. So it's going to be starting like this. Okay, now I don't have any ribbon. I mean, I do. I have tons of ribbon. Let me rephrase that. I don't have any current ribbon that matches Highland Heather. But if you recall, we have the celebration ribbon from last year that was sold out. So I'm sorry, but I am going to use it because I have it. So you got to use what you have. So we're going to be using a piece of this. And this is how it's going to look. But from the stamp set, this image right here, I want to incorporate this into my project, and I want to put it right here, and I need it to be straight. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to bring in my Stamp-A-Majig, and technically you don't need this foam mat, but it does work when you use it way down here at the end. And by the way, this foam mat is awesome. If you don't have one, you need to get one of these. This is used for when you're using photopolymer, but I'm going to use it with my, it doesn't, it's necessary for the photopolymer. It's not necessary for the stamped one, but I want to use this coating because I can clean it off really easily. So what I'm doing right now is I'm lining it up using the grid from this awesome thing that you can clean. And I'm going to put, whoops, I need this here. This is how I did it. I'm sure there's an easier way to do it, but this is how I did it. So I want it to be like this. And I know that I want my line of this image to go down across here. So I'm actually going to lay it down here. And I always start with the going off. So that looks like it's straight. If I can, yeah. And now I'm just going to pick it up. All right, and now I'm going to get rid of my DSP and hold this down. And I'm going to, because I stamp my images in black, I'm going to use my black again to keep that same color theme going with the purple. So I inked it up, and now I'm stamping, and I don't have to press really hard because I'm using this mat. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it down too. And then I'm going to ink it up again. And do that. Isn't that cool? I just love it. I love the Stamp-A-Ratus. And I'm moving it down too, and I'm going to ink it up again. And ta-da! So here's what I also like about it. So now I have this perfect line, and I have some of the ink on there. And so we'll just take our Simply Chamois and clean it off. So that's what's really nice about this. And this is only $6. So if you do not have one, put that on your wish list to get, because you're going to love this. Okay, so we're done with the Stamp-A-Ratus. we have this piece, so we're gonna put these two together. Isn't this paper just beautiful? It's a shame that we have to cover it up, but luckily there's a lot in the pack of the paper, so that's good. So this is a 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And now I'm going to bring that ribbon in, and I have a piece already cut, and I'm going to put it right there on that line. So we shall put that on there. Okay, and then we're going to secure this to our card base. Okay, and I also like to do this. Where is my bone folder? Here it is. Make sure everything gets nicely put on there. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring in the pieces that I already did. So here's the one I made. Oops, I don't need that one. And here's a smaller one, and another one, and here's some leaves, or holly. And then I took this image right here, which is super easy to stamp and then cut out. A tip I have for you is to use your Stamparatus, because you know how sometimes, because this is such a solid, thick image, you won't maybe get a little ink here or a little ink there. So to get it really nice, completely covered, you can put this right in your Stamparatus and go psh, do it 2 times and you'll get that perfect piece. So I have that. So it's gonna basically look like this, and I'm gonna throw this down here. So we need a lot of Stampin' Dimensionals, and so we're gonna get going on that. And here's the rule of 3 that I talk about a lot, even though this is basically a monochromatic card, if you ask me, even though there's a splash of green, because we are doing the purple and then silver, really. Okay, so this one is the focal point here, and this one is going to be tucked a little bit behind here. So I'm going to put a couple Stampin' Dimensionals on my guys. I don't know if you can hear it, but I am playing Christmas music in the other room very subtly here. Okay, and I have a pair of scissors that are dedicated just for foam tape so that I can cut my Stampin' Dimensionals, even though we have smaller ones, which I love. And there are a couple, I think it was the Everything is Rosy bundle. I used a lot of those for that card class. Okay, and then this one, you probably can hear this music. I got the Peanuts music going. Okay, I think I got everything except for that. All right, so I'm gonna start over here. We're gonna put him down first, and I'm not gonna push it all the way down because I wanna make sure that I have it exactly where I want it. Although you have to be really careful with this paper because it does wrinkle pretty easily. So just keep that in mind when you're working with it. It's super shiny, but it also, okay, let's see, like, yep, I like that. I am not putting this one down yet. Okay. And then this one, I want this to be here. So we'll put this There. Woohoo! Isn't it looking so pretty? I love it. I love the set. There. I think that looks good. Okay, so then we need like a half a dimensional over here on this side, and I want it to go on the ornament, so we need a little snail on that side. Ooh, 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 ooh. There. Okay, and then we need a little bow. Or need to put something around our ribbon. You don't have to, but that's what I want to do. Ta-da! There we go. Isn't that just so cute? I just love this bundle. So just think of all the colors that you can do coloring with your stamping blends and matching it to all of the different kinds of ribbon that you have. Thanks for joining me. Happy stamping.